What's up, guys? It's Miss Hurst. I'm coming to you from my humble abode, aka my hizzy, my house. Yes, I just said hizzy. Take that in. Anyways, today we're gonna get started reading 13 Reasons Why. This book here. And I just wanted to remind you, and I hate that I'm not there to start the book with you, but I'm gone with student council on a field trip. But I just want to remind you that this book is heavy, but we spent a couple days talking about the topic of bullying and suicide. And just a reminder as we read through this, if it hits close to home for you, if you are experiencing bullying or having suicidal thoughts, anything like that, again, don't forget that the counselors are there for you. I'm there for you. That's what we're here for. So just keep that in mind as we read through this novel. So today we're going to get started. Just a few reminders. The main character that you'll see on the cover of the book, her name is Hannah Baker. So she's the main character of the novel. And whenever Hannah Baker, she's dead at the beginning of the novel already. She's already killed herself. And whenever Hannah Baker speaks, or it's her voice, the font's going to be italicized. Now, italicized font means that it's kind of slanted to the side. So when you see font that's kind of slanted to the side in the book, that means Hannah Baker speaking. And then there's going to be several other characters in the book. So when they're speaking or they're thinking, it usually won't be italicized. The rest of the book will be cassette tapes. So we talked yesterday about a Walkman and what a Walkman was and how it played cassette tapes. Cassettes or tapes kind of from the 80s and early 90s that played music, and they're little squares and they have coil on the inside. So Hannah left behind these cassette tapes for the people that were bullying her. So a lot of times that's what we're going to be listening to, even though we're reading. We're listening to these cassette tapes she left sometimes. So throughout the book you'll see like a play button, or a which is like the little sideways triangle, or you'll see a stop button, which is like a square, a black square. So keep in mind that all these, since they kind of represent cassette tapes, that's why you're going to see like a play button, a pause button, a stop button, a fast forward button, all those different things. So I'll try to explain it to you as we go. There'll be some times I stop and talk, but I just wanted you guys to know that up front. So go ahead and open your book. We're going to be starting from what I call the introduction. So it's the very, very, very first page. It says, "Sir," and then if you that says, "Sir," she repeats, "How soon do you want to get it there?" That's the page we're going to start on. So flip till you see it's kind of blank at the top, and then it starts with, "Sir," she repeats, "How soon do you want to get it there?" That's page 1, because if you flip over to the next page it has a 2 at the top, but for some reason they didn't number the first page. So make sure you're there, and we're going to go ahead and get started. "Sir," she repeats, "how soon do you want to get there?" I rub 2 fingers hard over my eyebrow. The throbbing has become intense. "It doesn't matter," I say. The clerk takes the package, the same shoebox that sat on my porch less than 24 hours ago, rewrapped in a brown paper bag, sealed with clear packing tape, exactly as I had received it. But now addressed with a new name, the next name on Hannah Baker's list. "Baker's dozen," I mumbled. Then I feel disgusted for even noticing it. "Excuse me?" I shake my head. "How much is it?" She places the box on a rubber pad, then punches the sequence on her keypad. I set my cup of gas station coffee on the counter and glance at the screen. I pull a few bills out of my wallet, dig some coins out of my pocket, and place my money on the counter. "I don't think the coffee's kicked in yet," she says. "You're missing $1. I hand over the extra $1, then rub the sleep from my eyes. The coffee's lukewarm when I take a sip, making it harder to gulp down, but I need to wake up somehow. Or maybe not. Maybe it's best to get through the day half asleep. Maybe that's the only way to get through today. It should arrive at this address tomorrow," she says. "Maybe the day after tomorrow." Then she drops the box into a cart behind her. I should have waited till after school. I should have given Jenny one final day of peace, though she doesn't deserve it. When she gets home tomorrow or the next day, she'll find a package on her doorstep, or if her mom or dad or someone else gets there first, maybe she'll find it on her bed. And she'll be excited. I was excited. A package with no return address? Did they forget? Or was it unintentional? Maybe from a secret admirer. Do you want the receipt? The clerk asked. I shake my head. A small printer clicks one out anyway. I watch her tear the slip across the serrated plastic and drop it into a wastebasket. There's only one post office in town. I wonder if the clerk helped the other people on the list, those who got this package before me. Did they keep their receipt as sick souvenirs, tuck them in their underwear drawers, pin them up on corkboards? I almost ask for my receipt back. I almost say, "I'm sorry, can I have it after all?" as a reminder. But if I wanted a reminder, I could have made copies of the tapes or saved the map, but I never want to hear those tapes again. Their voice will never leave my head, and the houses, the streets, and the high school will always be there to remind me. It's out of my control now. The package is on its way. I leave the post office without the receipt. Deep behind my left eyebrow, my head is still pounding. Every swallow tastes sour, and the closer I get to school, the closer I come to collapsing. I want to collapse. I want to fall on the sidewalk right there and drag myself into the ivy, because just beyond the ivy, the sidewalk curves, falling outside of the school parking lot. It cuts through the front lawn and into the main building. It leads through the front doors and turns into a hallway, which meanders between rows of lockers and classrooms on both sides, finally entering the always open door to first period. At the front of the room, facing the students, will be the desk of Mr. Porter. He'll be the last to receive a package with no return address. And in the middle of the room, one desk to the left, will be the desk of Hannah Baker. Empty. A shoebox-sized package is propped against the front door at an angle. Our front door has a tiny slot to shove mail through, but anything thicker than a bar of soap gets left outside. I hurried scribble on the wrapping addresses the package to Clay Jensen, so I pick it up and head inside. I take the package into the kitchen and set it on the counter. I slide open the junk drawer and pull out a pair of scissors. Then I run a scissor blade around the package and lift off its top. Inside the shoebox is a rolled up tube of bubble wrap. I unroll that and discover 7 loose audio tapes. Each tape has a dark blue number printed in the upper right-hand corner, possibly with nail polish. Each side has its own number. 1 and 2 on the first tape, 3 and 4 on the next, 5 and 6, and so on. The last tape has a 13 on one side, but nothing on the back. Who would send me a shoebox full of audio tapes? No one listens to tapes anymore. Do I even have a way to play them? The garage. The stereo on the workbench. My dad bought it at a yard sale for almost nothing. It's old, so he doesn't care if it gets coated with sawdust or splattered with paint. And best of all, it plays tapes. I drag a stool in front of the workbench, drop my backpack to the floor, then I sit down. I press eject on the player, a plastic door eases open, and I slide in the first tape. Cassette 1, Side A. Hello, boys and girls. Hannah Baker here, live and in stereo. I don't believe it. No return engagements, no encore, and this time, absolutely no request. No, I can't believe it. Hannah Baker killed herself. I hope you're ready, because I'm about to tell you the story of my life. More specifically, why my life ended. And if you're listening to these tapes, you're one of the reasons why. What? No. I'm not saying which tape brings you into the story, but fear not. If you have received this lovely little box, your name will pop up. I promise. Now, why would a dead girl lie? Hey, that sounds like a joke. Why would a dead girl lie? Answer: because she can't stand up. Is this some kind of twisted suicide note? Go ahead, laugh. Oh well, I thought it was funny. Before Hannah died, she recorded a bunch of tapes. Why? The rules are pretty simple. There are only 2. Rule number 1, you listen. Number 2, you pass it on. Hopefully, neither one will be easy for you. What's that you're playing? Mom! I scrambled for the stereo, hitting several buttons all at once. Mom, you scared me, I say. It's nothing, a school project. My go-to answer for anything. Staying out late? School project. Need extra money? School project. And now the tapes of a girl who 2 weeks ago swallowed a handful of pills. School project. Can I listen? She asks. It's not mine, I say. I scrape the toe of my shoe against the concrete floor. I'm helping a friend. It's for history. It's boring. Well, that's nice of you, she says. She leans over my shoulder and lifts a dusty rack, one of my old cloth diapers, to remove a tape measure hidden underneath. Then she kisses my forehead. I'll leave you in peace. I wait till the door clicks shut, and I place my finger over the play button. My fingers, my hands, my arms, my neck, everything feels hollow. Not enough strength to press a single button on a stereo. I pick up the cloth diaper and drape it over the shoebox to hide it from my eyes. I wish I'd never seen that box or the 7 tapes inside it. Hitting play that first time was easy, a piece of cake. I had no idea what I was about to hear, but this time, it's one of the most frightening things I've ever done. I turn the volume down and press play. 1, you listen. Number 2, you pass it on. Hopefully, neither one will be easy for you. When you're done listening to all 13 sides, because there are 13 sides to every story, rewind the tapes, put them back in the box, and pass them on to whoever follows your little tale. And you, lucky number 13, you can take the tapes straight to hell, depending on your religion. Maybe I'll see you there. In case you're tempted to break the rules, understand that I did make a copy of these tapes. These copies will be released in a very public manner if this package doesn't make it through all of you. This was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. Do not take me for granted. Again. No. There's no way she could think that. You are being watched. My stomach squeezes in on itself, ready to make me throw up if I let it. Nearby, a plastic bucket sits upside down on a footstool. In 2 strides, if I need to, I can reach the handle and flip it over. I hardly knew Hannah Baker. I wanted to. I wanted to know her more than I had the chance. Over the summer, we worked together at the movie theater, and not long ago at the party we made out, but we never had the chance to get closer. And not once did I take her for granted, not once. These tapes shouldn't be here, not with me. It has to be a mistake. Or a terrible joke. I pull the trash can across the floor. Although I checked it once already, I checked the wrapping again. A return address has got to be here somewhere. Maybe I'm just overlooking it. Hannah Baker's suicide tapes are getting passed around. Someone made a copy and sent them to me as a joke. Tomorrow at school, someone will laugh when they see me, or they'll smirk and look away, and then I'll know. And then, what will I do then? I don't know. I almost forgot. If you're on my list, you should have received a map. I let the wrapping fall back in the trash. I'm on the list. A few weeks ago, just days before Hannah took the pills, someone slipped an envelope through the vent of my locker. The outside of the envelope said, "Save this, you'll need it," in a red felt-tip marker. Inside was a folded-up map of the city. About a dozen red stars marked different areas around town. In elementary school, we used those same Chamber of Commerce maps to learn about north, south, east, and west. Tiny blue numbers scattered around the map matched up with the business names listed in the margins. I kept Hannah's map in my backpack. I meant to show it around school to see if anyone else got one, to see if anyone knew what it meant, but over time, it slid beneath my textbooks and notebooks, and I forgot all about it. Till now. Throughout the tapes, I'll be mentioning several spots around our beloved city for you to visit. I can't force you to go there, but if you'd like a little more insight, just head for the stars. Or if you'd like, just throw the maps away and I'll never know. As Hannah speaks through the dusty speakers, I feel the weight of my backpack pressing against my leg. Inside, crushed somewhere at the bottom, is her map. Or maybe I will. I'm not actually sure how this whole dead thing works. Who knows? Maybe I'm standing behind you right now. I lean forward, propping my elbows on the workbench. I let my face fall into my hands. I slide my fingers back into unexpectedly damp hair. I'm sorry, that wasn't fair. Ready, Mr. Foley? Justin Foley, a senior. He was Hannah's first kiss. But why do I know that? Justin, honey, you were my very first kiss, my very first hand to hold. But you were nothing more than an average guy, and I don't say that to be mean. I don't. There was just something about you that made me need to be your girlfriend. To this day, I don't know exactly what that was, but it was there, and it was amazingly strong. You don't know this, but 2 years ago, when I was a freshman and you were a sophomore, I used to follow you around for sixth period. I worked in the attendance office, so I knew every one of your classes. I even photocopied your schedule, which I'm sure I still have here somewhere. And when they go through my belongings, they'll probably toss it away, thinking a freshman crush has no relevance. But does it? For me, yes, it does. I went back as far as you to find an introduction to my story, and this really is where it begins. So, where am I on this list among these stories? Second? Third? Does it get worse as the day goes along? She said lucky number 13 could take the tapes to hell. When you reach the end of these tapes, Justin, I hope you'll understand your role in all of this, because it may seem like a small role now, but it matters. In the end, everything matters. Betrayal. It's one of the worst feelings. I know you didn't mean to let me down. In fact, most of you listening probably had no idea what you were doing, what you were truly doing. What was I doing, Hannah? Because I honestly have no idea. That night, if that's the night I'm thinking of, was just as strange for me as it was for you, maybe more so, since I still have no idea what the hell happened. Our first red star can be found at C4. Take your finger over to C and drop it down to 4. That's right, like Battleship. When you're done with this tape, you should go there. We only lived in that house a short while, the summer before my freshman year, but it's where we lived when we first came to town. And it's where I first saw you, Justin. Maybe you'll remember. You were in love with my friend Kat. School was still 2 months away, and Kat was the only person I knew because she lived right next door. She told me you were all over her the previous year. Not literally all over her, just staring and accidentally bumping into her in the halls. I mean, those were accidents, right? Kat told me that at the end of school dance. You finally found the nerve to do more than stare and bump into her. The two of you danced every slow song together, and soon she told me she was going to let you kiss her. The very first kiss of her life. What an honor. The stories must be bad, really bad. That's the only reason the tapes are passing on from one person to the next, out of fear. Why would you want to mail out a bunch of tapes blaming you in a suicide? You wouldn't, but Hannah wants us, those of us on the list, to hear what she has to say, and we'll do what she says, passing the tapes on, if only to keep them away from the people not on the list. The list sounds like a secret club, an exclusive club, and for some reason, I'm in it. I wanted to see what you looked like, Justin, so we called you from my house and told you to come over. We called from my house because Kat didn't want you to know where she lived. Well, not yet, even though her house was right next door. You were playing ball. I don't know if it was basketball, baseball, or what, but you couldn't come over until later, so we waited. Basketball. A lot of us played that summer, hoping to make JV as freshmen. Justin, only a sophomore, had a spot waiting for him on varsity, so a lot of us played ball with him in hopes of picking up skills over the summer, and some of us did, while some of us, unfortunately, did not. We sat in my front bay window talking for hours when all of a sudden you and one of your friends, hi Zach, came walking up the street. Zach? Zach Dempsey? The only times I've seen Zach with Hannah, even momentarily, was the night I first met her. 2 streets meet in front of my old house like an upside-down T, so you were walking up the middle of the road toward us. Wait, I need to think. I pick out a speck of dry orange paint on the workbench. Why am I listening to this? I mean, why put myself through this? Why not just pop the tape out of the stereo and throw the entire box of them in the trash? I swallow hard, tears sting the corner of my eyes, because it's Hannah's voice, a voice I thought I'd never hear again. I can't throw that away. And because of the rules, I look at the shoebox hidden beneath the cloth diaper. Hannah said she made a copy of each of these tapes, but what if she didn't? Maybe if the tapes stop, if I don't pass them on, that's it. It's over. Nothing happens. But what if there's something on these tapes that could hurt me? What if it's not a trick? Then a second set of tapes will be released. That's what she said, and everyone will hear what's on them. The spot of paint flakes off like a scab. Who's willing to test her bluff?